Hey everyone, I started an amazing conversation yesterday, so we're going to jump in and talk a lot about that conversation. So, I am Amy, I'm the founder of Hidden Consumers Consulting. A majority of my focus really is on the food and beverage industry, those natural and organics. But people with disabilities are also hidden consumers. We don't attend events because we know that ADA access just means access. You don't actually include us. So we're a hidden consumer for events, right? With COVID, whether you believe it or not, is irrelevant. Reality is we're looking at about 60% of this country has some sort of disability, whether it be mobility, whether it be visual impairment, hearing impairment, or even sensitivity issues that come from the people who are on the spectrum, right? There's a variety of disabilities that exist in this world, and when you focus only on those who are able-bodied in 100% with no considerations whatsoever, you are losing business. And here's the thing, as a hidden consumer, a majority of people like me who have mobility issues or have other type of disability or impairments, they're not going to tell you. We're just going to roll our eyes. Oh, it's just another one of those groups. We're not going to raise a stink. Okay, I will. I like raising a stink. So yes, I will be the one to voice. Most people like me are not like me and don't do that. So here's the thing. If you are hosting an event and you want to truly be inclusive to everybody, because it's going to pad your bottom line, right? You're going to get more people there, then you need to do and have certain things in place. The number one thing you should have in place is someone who is in charge of that part of the program. So do you have someone like Nabo, California has asked me to be the accessibility director for Propel, which is 2024 Sacramento, coming up at just the end of April. So check them out. Do you have someone who falls into the I am a disabled person for whatever reason? I live life with some form of disability in a position to be able to answer questions. Do you know anybody who can help you and guide you through what is it that we need for us to feel included in your events? Um, excuse me. Most people don't. What we hear is we follow all the ADA policies. Okay, well, that means nothing. You're giving me access to a building, but you're not giving me access to your room. You're not giving me a spot to be in your group, right? I'm still expected to sit at the back of the room. I'm expected to keep my mouth shut, and I'm expected to just sit there and give you money while you tell me I'm not important enough to be in your organization. And that is why inclusion is so important, because then you get people who just walk away frustrated and they don't want to be there. So who do you have as who is going to take up and be the person that people reach out to? You're not going to get it right 100% first time out of the gates, but you have to make the effort as an event planner, as an organization. You have to make the effort to be inclusive to everybody. If you want your organization to continue to thrive and continue to grow in numbers, you have to understand a majority of this country does not fall into able-bodied circumstances. They just don't. We are a diverse group. I know of trans women who are disabled. Are you making room for them at your table? Are you making room for them to be comfortable in your organization? Disability, whether it be hearing impairment, visual impairment, you need mobility, anything can hit anybody. It doesn't matter your race, doesn't matter your background. Anybody can end up disabled. I'm a great example of that. I did not have mobility issues until later in life. I was in my 20s when things started going downhill, which is now why I have a wheelchair. Okay, so it happens. It happens to a variety of people, but unfortunately, we're seeing it happen to more and more people, and more are realizing that they're not part of your groups. So you can, if you pick an event, have you walked through that event area to determine what's it like to get from one end of your space to the other. Great example. I was at an event in an Austin hotel in October. There were back-to-back sessions I wanted to go to. One was in the basement, far across the hotel as possible, and then you had like 5 minutes to go all the way back across, get the elevator to go up to the next level to go across that to get basically above where I was before. Someone with mobility issues, we are completely dependent on that elevator then to get from one room to the other. So, as much as you want to do all the things and you want to have all the sessions, maybe part of what you need to do is look at what you're offering and how they're being offered. What rooms are you using one after the other? We ran into an issue where the elevator broke down and stranded those of us with mobility issues in the basement. We had to go searching for the service elevator, which was blocked because of chairs and other equipment in the room, and we couldn't easily access it. Why? Because the assumption is that elevator that's open to the public that would be available 24 hours a day. And there was no backup plan for when that elevator went down. And we had around 600 attendees at an event. What are you going to do? It's things like this that need to be considered. Do you truly include us, or are you just saying, sure, we include you. Yes, we support you. But your actions say otherwise. Your setup says otherwise. That event that I was in Austin was a 3-day event, and I only got to attend a third of it because what I put my body through to try and make it work so that I could be and get the most value. Because if you're going to be at a conference, you need to be in those rooms. You need to attend. It broke me. The first day literally broke me. And that is why I don't ever want to go back to that event. Why would I go back to an event that puts so little thought into my ability to really get the most out of it, that they're okay not being accessible? And I will say in this group's case, I talked to the head of the DE&I. I talked to the DE&I committee, and they told me I should not expect accessibility at national events. And then when I said I have a solution, because that's the key, I'd never come up and say, this is the problem. I will say, I see a problem, but I also see how we can fix it. Here are some solutions I'd like to discuss with you. I was shut down. They didn't want to hear the solutions. If that is your organization, I'm going to put money on the table that your organization is failing. You're losing membership because you made it clear in everything you do that those with disabilities aren't included. Now, a lot of this focus is on mobility, but what about those people who do have visual impairment? Great example again was that conference in October. What did they do? They were putting the tech together. We had screens up, there were microphones, and no closed caption. So they were reading from a prompter, but that prompter did not use the same text to put on the screen so that whoever was in the audience and who had hearing impairments could at least read what was being said. Microphones were not used on a regular basis. We really need to teach our audiences they can't speak until there's a microphone in front of them, right? It's going to be a process. But think about, how many friends do you have that use closed captioning just to watch TV because of sensory issues? Maybe they can't, they need something to be turned down so they can focus over here, so they have the closed captionings on. Maybe they have that a hearing impairment, so they need the closed captionings on. There are little things. If you're putting in the effort to make one little step, take it the next step further and make sure those who have disabilities have the ability to use that technology as well. I am very passionate about this. Um, I could talk many hours on this, and there's so many solutions out there. If you as an organization and as you as an event planning group choose to listen, there are solutions. Not every solution is going to cost you thousands of dollars. Sometimes it's the simplest thing that will make the biggest impact. And with the way we use today's technology, there is no reason why we aren't making more of that effort to include that new technology in our events so that we can be more inclusive to those people around us. So I'm going to step off my soapbox. If you want to talk to me one-on-one and maybe even be a consultant on the steps you need for your events to make sure you are truly inclusive and bringing in a wider variety of people, I want you to schedule with me, and that is right here. Here we go. It's going to be in the chat. It is the accessibility inclusion at events calendar. Super easy, right? I know exactly why you're scheduling. We're good to go. I'll know it before we even meet. If you want to connect with me online and learn more about hidden consumers and all of my fun advocacy roles, because advocacy is a big part of me. It's what I do in my extracurricular, the volunteer work I do for organizations. It's about advocating, but I also do it in my business. And my business is about, we're going to make a change. We're going to improve as much as possible, but I'm also going to advocate for the consumer while I'm helping someone else also understand that that's going to bring in more money for them. So connect with me on LinkedIn if you would like that. If you want to hear me talk on something else and talk about on March 22nd, so coming up in just 2 days, I am going to be a speaker, one of the VIP guests for everything you need to know about your drinking water. Hidden consumers are well versed in the horrors of drinking plastic bottle or water from plastic bottles, really drinking anything from plastic. And there's some really cool new research that's come out that backs up a lot of the things we've been experiencing. So our research is finally catching up to what the actual human experience is. So I'll be talking about that briefly with our co-host, or not the co-host, but with the host. I'm just a guest, Heather Kohler. So this link is on LinkedIn. You can find it on my LinkedIn profile. And it's everything you need to know about water. So feel free to find me on LinkedIn and then register for this event that is on Friday and learn more about the hidden consumers and water and why plastic water bottles are not just detrimental to the environment, but to the human body as well. And if you're curious to learn just more about Hidden Consumers Consulting, you can find me at Hidden Consumers Consulting. All right. Thank you guys for your attention. I appreciate all the discussion and the thought process. And I realize this is a new thought process for many, many people. So feel free to reach out, message me through LinkedIn. If you need to find me, email me at amy@hiddenconsumers.com. Send me a message, and I will be more than happy to reach out and have those discussions. You can also hire me for speaking gigs. So let me know. And you guys have a great rest of your day, and we will see you on Friday at everything you need to know about your drinking water. And I better see you there. So have a great